Palm Springs real estate is different. You always hear me say that on these videos, and that's why I put together a 21-point checklist for my buyer clients who are thinking of buying a home in Palm Springs. And today, in this video, I'm just going to share it with you, whether you're my client or not. Maybe you like what I have to say and you call me to help you buy a home in Palm Springs. But either way, I really hope you find what I'm going to share with you to be useful. It's based on years of experience. And my goal is to help people avoid costly mistakes and save time and find the home they want. So if you watch my videos, you probably know I'm kind of unscripted. Some people would say unfiltered. But I'm also going to do a blog post about this on my Palm Springs website called palmspringsHousehunt.com. And I usually take more time to think through the things I'm writing down. So let's start with the most basic question first. When you say Palm Springs, are you referring to the city of Palm Springs, or do you want to move to the greater Palm Springs area, also known as the Coachella Valley? And secondly, are you going to live in the desert full time, or whatever home you buy in Palm Springs, is that going to be a vacation home, a second home, or are you an investor looking to do rentals? And then I guess number three then becomes, will you consider doing short-term rentals at the house if it's you're not in residence there full time and not using it all the time? And then this one's common in a lot of places. Will you buy a single family house or a condo, or just whatever is the best fit for you? And that might also be defined by price range. Really big one here in the desert is, will you buy a home on leased land, or do you have to actually own the land? And leased land is its own whole separate topic. We'll get into that a little bit later in the video. Next up is, do you want to be in a gated community or just on a beautiful street here like in Vista Las Palmas? And how do you feel about homeowners associations? So, you can have a single family residence in a gated community like Casino or Miralon in Palm Springs or elsewhere in the greater Palm Springs area, where there's a homeowners association, and they're going to have some kind of say over the exterior of homes and other things. And are you okay with that? Speaking of various restrictions, are you eligible for, and would you want to live in a community that's a 55 plus restricted community? Next question on the checklist: do you want to buy a mid-mod architecturally significant home, or do you want new construction? There's a lot of options throughout the greater Palm Springs area. Some people want that new house that no one ever lived in, and others are like, yeah, I want that authentic or original one. A lot of homes in Palm Springs have great mountain views, and some are on golf courses and have great golf course views. And in these places, you can get a great golf course view and a great mountain view. So are views important to you? And if so, how important are they? And are you willing to pay for that view? Because everything comes with a price, which leads me to my next two topics. So are you going to be financing your purchase and getting a mortgage, or are you a cash buyer? A lot of homes in Palm Springs are sold for all cash, much higher percentage than anywhere else I've ever sold real estate, and I've sold real estate all over Southern California and other parts of the country. So that's a big question. And then, not totally unsurprisingly, but a lot of homes in Palm Springs are sold furnished. Are you going to be bringing your own furniture, or do you want the seller's furniture? And I'll tell you why that's a thing. Next up is a pool and other amenities. Do you need to have your own pool, or if you're in a community with a community pool, is that going to work for you? And I mentioned homes on golf courses. Well, if you're not a golfer and you're buying someplace where you're paying for that golf course or tennis courts or pickleball or other things you don't use, it's like You really got to look into that when you're setting that budget. Okay, let's talk about the cost of ownership. Now, even if you're going to pay cash for your home in Palm Springs, you're going to be paying insurance, you're going to be paying property tax, you might be paying some HOA dues, even if it's a single family house. You're going to have the utilities, even if you have solar panels, you're going to have your other utilities. And of course, if it's on a land lease, you're going to be paying the land lease. And if you're getting a mortgage, throw that on top. Now, even without the mortgage, a lot of people are surprised at how much all these other costs amount to. So really getting a good handle on that true cost of ownership is going to really help you determine what price point you really want to be at. And I can help you with that. So we'll talk about that a little bit later, okay? Another item on your checklist is going to be solar. Now, a lot of the newer homes like these were built with solar, and some of the older homes had solar added. But if you're going to be blasting that AC, and I'm going to guess if you're living in the desert, you will be blasting that AC a number of months, then solar is an effective way to lower your cost of electricity, but can't be put everywhere like on some condos, so put that on the checklist. Is solar important to you? And then there's walkability, which is a big one, particularly for people like me who love to walk. I try to hit those 10,000 steps a day. Can't say I always do it. And I'm walking here now in the olive groves at Miralong, where I live. Check this out, all these olive trees. And but people like to walk all over. Some people like to walk to downtown. I do a lot of hiking. You see my Indian Canyons videos, hiking there. And so walkability. And I guess I would throw in with that living in an area that might be bikeable. You know, we have the CV link that runs through the whole Coachella Valley, or most of it. And so I'll be talking about that as well, but it should be on your checklist. How important is it to be in a walkable neighborhood or a bikeable neighborhood, or both, I guess? A lot of electric bikes around here, a lot of regular bikes. Another consideration is wind. I don't know if you can see those windmills back there, so maybe I'll get another shot of it. But North Palm Springs can be very windy, and through the whole Coachella Valley, if you're near the I-10, there's wind, and that means wind and dust and sand blowing around. And if that's not something that sounds too exciting to you, another thing you have to consider, which we'll be talking about. Now, in Palm Springs, you also can get airport noise. And I'm standing outside of my house now, and maybe we'll get lucky and a plane will pass over. I live where you do hear airport noise. Sometimes if you're closer to the airport, you hear the noise and they're not taking off. Parking. So, you know, a lot of these homes originally were built with carports, not enclosed garages. Is a closed garage important? Some people even air condition their garages. And in some of the condo complexes, particularly the older ones in the city of Palm Springs, you may not even have covered parking, and that gets kind of brutal, says the guy out here in the sun without his hat. You know, some have covered parking, some have only one car parking if you're buying some of the condos. So parking, that's the thing. And lastly, what is your exit strategy? Everything gets sold eventually. Every house gets sold. Could be 10, 15, 20, 30 years later, or even 5 years later. What are you thinking? How long are you going to hold it? So even though right now it's kind of a buyer's market in Palm Springs, you know, maybe by the time you sell, it's a seller's market. Who knows? So I'm going to just recap the 21 points on the checklist for buying a home in Palm Springs. And if you jump down to the description, I created 21 chapters because you just might want to hear what I have to say about short-term rentals or leased land or some other topic, and not go through everything in the checklist, even though I highly recommend that you do. It's really, really useful. It's really going to help you hone in on a bunch of things before they become issues and come up in escrow. So jump down to the description, like I said, and you'll see there the chapters. You can go ahead anywhere in the timeline. And okay, Now we're going to have the fun stuff. If we haven't met before, either in person or here on YouTube, I'm Ellis Posner. I'm a Palm Springs real estate agent, or more precisely, a real estate broker. And there is a difference in those two, with a broker being a higher form of licensing. And I work with buyers in all price ranges throughout not only, oops, driving and talking. I shouldn't be doing that, right? Uh, I work with buyers in all price ranges throughout Palm Springs. I live in Palm Springs. I do have another house at the beach in LA. Very lucky about that, but I live in Palm Springs. And I work with buyers throughout the entire greater Palm Springs area in all price ranges, as I mentioned. And if you have questions about Palm Springs real estate, whether you're thinking of buying sometime now or in the future, feel free to reach out. It's funny. I did an interview. I'm going to post a link to it up here. You may have seen the interview. And my buyer client for Palm Springs, he called agent and said, I want to buy a home in Palm Springs, and the guy never got back to him. It's like, I will get back to you, I promise. So if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, and I'm going to maybe go inside where I'm not cooking in the heat now that you've seen all this great views of the city here. I know that this checklist has really helped a lot of my buyer clients kind of hone in on what property and what budget and what price range and where's the greatest value for them. And most importantly, if you follow my guidance, I've been selling real estate for a very long time, all over Southern California. I've helped hundreds of buyers and sellers. I've lost track, I don't know, thousands, I don't know. If you take this seriously and do the exercise and work through the checklist, you're going to be very happy with the outcome, particularly if you wind up hiring me to be your agent.